Good day. My name is Ann Townsend. I am a PhD student in the Media Psychology program at Fielding Graduate University. In this Flash Talk, I will discuss a research proposal that is currently being reviewed by the university's Institution Review Board for approval for implementation. This is Technology-Mediated Religiosity in COVID-19 Social Isolation. The balance and order of things has been disturbed for nearly every human being. Beyond the illness, there are some comorbidity and comortality interactions in the forms of connectedness, belongingness. It's absent in the midst of forced social isolation and the consequences to one's sense of well-being. Can technology offset these forces? This study involves technology viewed through the lenses of cognitive and social psychology. It does some reverse engineering on well-being that is derived from connectedness or belongingness, and that which can come from religiosity. A recent qualitative study suggests that the forced lack of presence in church caused distress relating to place-based connectedness to the building as a symbol of Christian religion. More importantly, the lack of interaction with church social activities caused markedly more distress, diminishing the sense of well-being. For subjects who did use technology to stay connected with their friends, family, and members of their congregation, the subject's sense of connectedness was mediated by whether or not they were comfortable with or required solidarity rather than whether they were comfortable using or had the resources available to use technology. Is this generalizable to other groups? Is it specific to age? What is the relationship between technology mediation of connectedness, belongingness, well-being, and non-laboratory forced social isolation? Does technology mediate connectedness, belongingness, and subjective well-being of people experiencing social isolation as a result of COVID-19 stay-at-home order? Does technology mediate connectedness, belongingness, and well-being usually associated with participant religiosity? A prior qualitative study revealed if elderly in the COVID-19 stay-at-home social isolation, church is part of the only aspect of a person's social community. Family and friend relationships are not as immediately necessary or are otherwise fulfilled, while church attendance is the most obvious issue of the quarantine. Online church attendance was mediated by prior experience with technology, but more so by comfortableness with others presenting as extroversion or introversion. Phone calls from fellow parishioners proved to be important to those not using technology to interact with friends, family, or their church experience. It is claimed that the study will be affected by existing evidence from prior research. Religiosity, including doctrine and participation in religious activities or practices, affects one's sense of well-being. Connectedness, belongingness affects one's sense of well-being. Direct contact, connectedness, belongingness is necessary for the need to belong to be satiated. Depending on the person, the amount of technology use can either increase one's sense of connectedness, belongingness, or reduce it. The circumstances will mediate the effects of increased technology use. Social isolation, when coupled with fear or pain, has been found to affect non-human subjects in an increased aggressive, violent, or paranoid behaviors. Forced social isolation will cause some amount of discomfort but not produce fear and thus is less likely to produce aggressive behavior. Forced social isolation with technological means of maintaining near direct connectedness will cause less negative affect. Association and correlation will be used to analyze the relationships between the variables of amount of technology use scores, religiosity scores, connectedness, belongingness scores, and subjective well-being scores. It is expected that an amount of technology use increases, so will sense of connectedness, belongingness, and sense of well-being increase. It is also expected that the relationship among religiosity, connectedness, belongingness, and well-being will vary depending on the stay-at-home orders. Thank you very much for visiting us today and taking part in our symposium. I hope you have a great day.